Apple unveils the new iMac featuring the M4 chip and Apple Intelligence. The tech giant also releasing its first set of Apple Intelligence features for the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. The latest offering is coming ahead of the company's fourth quarter results on Thursday. And Oppenheimer senior analyst of emerging technologies and services, Martin Yang, joins us now with more on what to watch for with the tech giant. Martin, it is good to see you. Let's start with Apple pushing out these new AI features, Martin. And of course, the big debate on the street still is, are those going to really help to jumpstart this meaningful iPhone upgrade cycle, Martin? To that, you say what?
I think it's going to take time, maybe a few quarters. For example, the 18.1 iOS and iPad update were released today. I just downloaded it, but Apple Intelligence is not immediately accessible. You have to join a waitlist and then get notified to use the features. So the rollout is gradual. It takes time to get global consumers or global iPhone and iPad users to access the feature. And we don't know how the broad-based consumers will respond to those just yet.
Martin, what's the read on Apple Intelligence as far as what consumers are going to be getting from the product? Is it the kind of AI intelligence that's going to get someone to move over from a competing, say, smartphone company that also has a lot of AI integrations into Apple? Is that the play here, or are they just trying to make the experience better for customers that already exist and people that are already in the Apple ecosystem?
I think it's the latter. It's going to get the existing users upgrade to newer devices. A lot of the older phone users have been on their much older device without Apple Intelligence support for quite a few years now. So it's primarily targeting the existing user base as opposed to switchers.
Martin, I'm going to double barrel this next one to you, a two-parter. One, do we have any line of sight yet, Martin, on when these new AI features are going to get turned on in China? And two, I'm just curious, Martin, is your sense that why do you think people are upgrading to these new iPhones? Is it the software, or is it actually still just tried true hardware? Is it the better battery, camera, display?
I don't have a line of sight on when Apple Intelligence will be available in full feature in China. And for a second question, I think it's a combination of both. Number one is we are dealing with a very large 300 million plus install base who are on their older devices for 4+ years. That's one. So those users are looking for hardware-specific upgrades, such as USB-C port, better display, and more powerful processing features. For users like me who are on a 3-year phone or 2-year-old phone, like my wife, then we'll be looking to upgrade with solely software features like the Apple Intelligence, making our daily lives just a bit easier.
Martin, we talk a lot about that iPhone upgrade cycle, right? And that seems to be across the street a key part of the bull thesis here. If that doesn't come to fruition, or at least doesn't come as intensely as some are projecting, is there still a bull case for Apple? Maybe services picks up more than expected, or they pull another lever, or do we have to see that iPhone upgrade cycle?
Yeah, I wouldn't rush to say software cycle is coming up because of wider use of consumer-facing intelligent features like ChatGPT on the phone. So we're still waiting for a killer feature like what we have identified for mobile games for the software development, for the software part to take off. So if the hardware story or the upgrade cycle doesn't play out, it will be immediately a short-term negative for Apple.
So, Martin, more immediately, when Apple does report results this week, your big questions that you want answered are what?
Yeah, there's not a lot of major debates going into Apple's quarter. Things we'll be watching for is the iPhone revenue trend still stable, and are they keep getting better comps in Greater China sales? Those are the key topics I'll be watching because we are expecting the headwinds from the competitor point of view in Greater China to moderate since 2 quarters ago, and expect that to continue into the September and December quarter. And overall, we are expecting the revenue growth to stay in that mid-single-digit range.
Martin, we were just talking about Apple Intelligence. I'm curious what you're expecting, if anything. Do you think we're going to learn any more about that on the call or future AI plans, or do you think that's already kind of sort of baked into the price of Apple stock at this point?
Yeah, I don't think Apple is in the habit of revealing new features for their hardware devices on the earnings call. So we are likely to get a reiteration of the announced features of Apple Intelligence on the call, but nothing beyond that.
Martin, in terms of what you're looking for when they report this week too, how do you think about the margin story here and the trajectory of margins looking ahead? Because they have been hanging in there, Martin, right? I mean, Apple fans have been opting for those, higher price Pro models.
Definitely, we see two things playing out. One is a heavier focus on Pro and Pro Max models, and the other is service revenue still growing at far above the rate of hardware devices, service growing at 10 to 15% range, whereas the hardware growing at mid to high single digits. So that by nature will help Apple to move up the gross margins overall quite sustainably.
Martin, plenty to think about before Apple reports earnings again after the bell on Thursday. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.